Did you guys see the blunder that the Vice President JD Vance committed on live show? Did you guys see the blunder? The blunder has been sparking a lot of reaction. Honestly, seeing this type of response, let me just be honest, as a woman, as a married woman for that matter, if my husband should go on a national TV and say this kind of words, automatically I should know that I am not safe in that marriage. I should know that I should be preparing for divorce as far as I'm concerned. Because let it make sense to me that this man literally know that his wife is Hindu, blah, blah, blah. And yes, she don't go to church with him. And he is coming out to say that he is looking forward to the day of dragging her to, like, it's just a whole lot. If you've not seen that video, let me know. And all of this thing is happening because they want to be the hero. He want to be playing the hero part. I don't want to even go to what Erica Keck actually said before he came on stage and he started putting out all of this blunder. But to be honest, if I am that man's wife, my bags will be packed already. But anyways, maybe I'm just over-exaggerating or over-emphasizing. But let me know what you think after watching this video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips or stitches we have in our today's episode. With that being said, let's dive right into this video so that we can watch and let me know what you think.
You are married to a woman who is not Christian. She still calls herself Hindu. When you talk about too many immigrants here, when did you guys decide that number? Why did you sell us a dream? You made us spend our youth, our wealth in this country and gave us a dream. You don't owe us anything. We have worked hard for it. Then how can you as a vice president stand there and say that we have too many of them now and we are going to take them out to people who are here rightfully so? Why are we making Christianity one of the major thing that you have to have in common to be one of you guys, to show that I love America just as much as you do? Why is that still a question? Why do I have to be a Christian?
So first of all, I can believe that we should have lower immigration levels, but if the United States passed a law and made a promise to somebody, the United States, of course, has to honor that promise. Nobody's talking about that. I'm talking about people who came in violation of the laws of the United States of America, and I'm talking about in the future reducing the number.
But you are pushing out policies that hurt us, and these policies are not even solving the problems. These policies are just creating chaos.
Ma'am. Okay, so again, I'm gonna finish answering the question, and then if I've answered all 9 of your questions in less than 15 minutes, then we can keep on going. My job as vice president is not to look out for the interest of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. Now, my wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love.
So I've already seen a bunch of videos coming down my timeline about Usha Vance and how people are like, oh my gosh, she needs to get out. I don't give a fuck what happens to Usha Vance because she deserves it. JD Vance did not show up as a white supremacist yesterday or this week or this month. JD Vance has been a white supremacist this whole fucking time, and Usha Vance has fucking benefited from that shit. Just the way y'all tried to victimize Melania Trump, she has also benefited from white supremacists. What makes it worse for Usha is that she is a woman of color. So I do not give a fuck that Charlie Kirk's wife is now all up over her husband. I hope she fucks the shit out of her husband, actually, because that's what you fucking deserve, bitch. I don't give a fuck what happens to you at this point. Don't. Because you two, you and Melania and Erica Kirk, all benefit from this white supremacist shit. So all of you can go to hell, honestly.
All right, this story is pretty wild. We have really seen Vice President J.D. Vance throw his wife, Usha Vance, under the bus multiple times. Or at the very least, he refuses to defend her dignity when people on the far right fringe, like his right flank, attack her for her religion or her ethnicity or the way that she looks. I know this is hard to believe, but J.D. Vance isn't even the far right in the Republican Party. There is something deeper and darker that is being mainstreamed with the likes of Nick Fuentes, his Groyper movement. Tucker Carlson just did a massive interview with Nick Fuentes that has like tens of millions of views. And this far right fringe, they don't like J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance is married to Usha Vance, who's an Indian and who is openly a Hindu. And rather than J.D. Vance take a stand over the past few years, especially over the past few months since he's been in office, rather than him lead with moral clarity and say this type of stuff is disgusting, like the Young Republican group chat that came out just a few weeks back, in that group chat of people who were in their 20s, some 30s, some of them were 39 years old. These were not Young Republicans. That's just the name of the group. But in this group chat, they were talking shit about Indian people. They were saying disgusting, racist things about Indian people, playing into stereotypes. And the problem is, J.D. Vance did not condemn it. In fact, he muddied the waters. He essentially ran defense by pivoting directly over to Jay Jones, which we should also condemn. You can condemn both of these things at the same time, but J.D. Vance did not condemn both of these things at the same time. The point is, J.D. Vance has allowed this type of hatred to grow and created this permission structure. He has not taken a stand, and now it's hurting his wife. This all comes to a head when we see the other day J.D. Vance speaks at a Turning Point USA event in Mississippi. J.D. Vance is asked about his religion. He's asked about his wife's religion. You know, he's asked about this multiple times. I mean, this far right movement, we can call them the Groyper movement or whatever, this new wave, they don't like interracial marriages. J.D. Vance, I guess, got married before he hopped on the new far-right train and had to change his identity multiple times. I mean, this is a guy who has changed his name 2-3 times now in order to shapeshift in his political sphere, and he will do whatever he needs to grab power. He'll go from being the never Trump guy to being the literal Trump guy, meaning he'll do whatever. He has no morals. If that means throwing his wife under the bus, that means throwing his wife under the bus. I mean, before I even play you this clip of what happened there, just know that the internet is currently blowing up because of the way that he was embracing Erica Kirk while coming on stage. Our lead policy advisor, Micah Irfan, says, honestly, I feel bad for Charlie. To have your wife publicly fawn over another man so...
Listen, I'm not saying that Usha doesn't know her role, that Usha wasn't a part of the plan from the beginning. She know the man she married. She knows. I'm saying that Usha got a problem because the plan has changed.
She asks J.D. Vance about his wife not being Christian. And here's what he says about that. Play the clip.
Everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we decided to raise our kids Christian. Our 2 oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. But thank you. My 8-year-old was also very proud of his first communion. Thank you, guys. I'll tell him that Ole Miss wishes him the best. But I think everybody has to have this own conversation when you're in a marriage. I mean, it's true for friends of mine who are in Protestant and Catholic marriages, friends of mine who are in, atheist and Christian marriages. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person that God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will. And so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love. Again, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Usha's closer to the priests who baptized me than maybe I am. They talk about this stuff. My attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family and you trust in God to have a...
Okay. So basically it's okay for Usha to remain Hindu. And it's okay for Usha to be a woman of immigrant parents. But they often talk about this administration, that they want it to be a Christian nationalist administration. Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri, straight up said he was a Christian nationalist and he wanted the United States of America to be a Christian nationalist nation. Project 2025 spells out that they want the United States to be Christian. But here you have the just absolute hypocrisy. In his private life, he has a wife who is a smart lawyer whose parents are immigrants. And it's okay for her. And it's okay for his mixed race kids. And it's okay if she wants to be Hindu. And he respects that because she has free will. But when it comes to the masses, they don't apply the same sort of grace. And I think, again, this is a short-sighted issue here. I don't know if y'all remember during the RNC, Usha talked about being a vegetarian on stage. And these are the people like Ted Cruz will say, Kamala Harris is not taking away my cheeseburger. And then like the dipshit governor from Texas is like, I'm banning beef burger, whatever that vegan burger stuff is. He's like banning it. Like that's such a tough guy. So these guys are just all hypocrites that engage in culture war bullshit to get to power so that they can fleece off the working class to feed the billionaire class. And they keep you all engaged in religion and trans people and immigrants and all this bullshit to keep your eye off the ball that all of JD Vance's friends, his gay friend, Peter Thiel in Silicon Valley, has groomed him to be an absolute sociopath. Now, granted, JD Vance was probably broken before, which set the psychological soil for him to fall prey to all of this. But all right, I'm going to leave you with this. Here's JD Vance, and this is the Vice President of the United States. Just to remind you of that. Here's JD Vance, and he thinks that UFOs could be demons. Play the clip.
Gabbard says that she believes there are aliens. Do you believe that?
You know, I don't, it's interesting. I wouldn't say that I do or don't believe it. I mean, I'm a big believer that there are things out there that we can't explain. And so if another person sees an alien, maybe I see an angel or a demon. So I'm a big believer that there are like spiritual forces working on the physical world that a lot of us don't see and a lot of us don't understand and a lot of us don't appreciate. But, you know, is it aliens or is it our guardian angel, or is it aliens, or is it a not so guardian force that doesn't care about us, or in fact actively wishes us harm? I don't know the answer to that question. What I try to do is I try to say my prayers. I try to be as good of a person as I can be, and I try to do a good job. And hopefully that's all I need to do.
Walk with me. Hopefully I won't be all over the place. But it's like I said in past videos. JD Vance cannot ascend to the presidency because the MAGA base is not accepting of his brown wife. The MAGA base is racist. Okay? They will never accept Usha as their first lady. And so what does JD Vance want more than anything? He wants to ascend to that spot. He wants to be president of the United States. And he knows that he cannot ascend with Usha as his wife. And then what happens out of the blue? CK goes home to glory. Horrible, horrible. But CK has gone on to glory. And since that has happened, we've heard a lot about his wife, Erica. They've dug all into Erica's past. She's tied to Trump in other ways. She's tied to It's Not Real. She would be perfect for JD Vance to ascend to the presidency. But JD got a wife. And that's why I say, Usha girl, you've got a problem. You've got a problem because J.D. Vance wants more than anything to ascend to that spot, and he cannot ascend with you, Usha, as his wife. Meanwhile, Erica, who's mourning, is loved by the MAGA base. She would be perfect to help JD ascend to that top role. So when I say Usha's got a problem, she's got a problem. Usha, I hope your Secret Service detail is loyal to you and not to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. If it was me, I would be packing my shit and I would be long gone. You can't trust them mofos. Them some evil doers. And they don't mind killing folk. They don't think twice about killing folk. Usha, you got a problem.
So J.D. Vance has been all over the news, and it has all to do with his wife. Now, first off, he keeps throwing her under the bus, telling the world that he hopes that she eventually flips from her religion to his, because his is superior. But then going off and picking up the pieces where Charlie Kirk left off and doing his little debate in Mississippi for Turning Point USA, and filling in for Charlie Kirk, the embrace that this man does with Charlie Kirk's ex-wife, who is wearing inappropriately tight black leather pants, is all over J.D. Vance. Has her hands on the back of his head, body up against body, in way too personal, way too touchy-feely of a hug. I mean, he's got his hands around her lower back, just above her butt. This is like slow dancing with your girlfriend at the prom kind of a embrace. And the fact of the matter, the comments going bananas, saying if this is my husband hugging another woman like that, he's a goner. Another comment saying, what is she going to do? Put him out on the couch? That's not going to work. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Follow me for more. The internet is undefeated.
That's all the clip I got for you guys because I don't even want this video to be too long. And that is why I said if my husband should come to national TV and speak this blunder, honestly, I should know that even if I'm staying in that marriage, even if I'm still in that marriage, I am literally not safe. You knew where I actually came from. You knew my roots. You knew my religion before you came for my hand in marriage. And now, if you guys start looking at her posts recently, I'm sorry to say, you will notice that the vice president's wife is getting more macheted and more dehydrated as far as I'm concerned than when he was actually not a vice president. If you think I'm joking, go through her old pictures and go through her current pictures. You will know that a lot is not well. I'm sorry, allegedly. Let me just say allegedly, but I know what I'm saying. Now, he come up on stage, instead of talking about his religion, he is trying to make it, to curve it, to make it look, he's trying to play the Charlie Kirk of our time. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? He's playing the Charlie Kirk of our time, of making things look like, oh, if she wants to come with me, and of which I've said it to her, and I'll say it in the presence of 1,000 people, then it's gonna fine by me. Why? Because he knew that Americans will not I repeat, Americans will not make him president because that is the area they are going towards. The orange man already know that he cannot run another tenure. A lot of people are already speculating that even before that tenure, he maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say with my mouth, right? So they're already preparing. And the future president and the future vice president or the future first lady I'm seeing is automatically JD Vance and Charlie Kirk's widow, as far as I'm concerned. Because I'm not even going to go into the section because I'm going to do a whole video about what she said about his own section or the appreciation and the rest of that. But coming to look at all of these things, he knew that Americans will definitely not accept him to be on that place called the presidential seat because of his wife's religion. And the wife already, we all know that at the end of the day, if they said, okay, every single immigrants go, the wife likely look like, and even the children look like people that are supposed to go. But for the fact that he's a vice president, who are we to say or do anything about it? So that is why he's coming out now to say it publicly so that whenever he go back to the house now, he will not tell his wife that, okay, now you either have to choose if you want to start going to church. I'm just saying my opinion, right? Drop yours for me in the comment section. And if she said, no, I'm not going to church with you, the next thing we'll be hearing is, let's file a divorce. Or he's going to do something that will make the wife file a divorce by force. The last time I checked, if I have money, I should be looking good and more younger than my age. Why is it that whenever these people get to this presidential level or whenever they get to the heights we're thinking they're supposed to be looking more fresher than they were before, they will not start macheting and start decaying? I don't know. Some people are decaying. I really do not know, right? I don't want to mention names. It's quite alarming because at the end of the day, it is just their wickedness and every single thing that they are putting in place that is eating them up deeply. And that is why they cannot have a peaceful sleep. They cannot have a peaceful rest as far as I'm concerned, because every time of their life, they are using it to plan another evil as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, who am I to say something, right? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it. Subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And yes, with no further ado, I'd like I say in my videos, I'm going to be Simba and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.